the feds busted Blac Youngsta and 11 CMG members for their involvement in Young Dolph and Big Jook's case. To find out what happened, watch this whole video, like and subscribe to the channel. Especially if y'all Young Dolph supporters, go ahead and comment LLYD, long live Young Dolph. Put RIP Dolph and put the dolphin emojis. Let me know where y'all from and who you rocking with. The feds came into Memphis. The first thing they did was they had to find Blac Youngsta because they know he actually had a connection in what happened to Young Dolph and Big Jook. Because you got to realize that even Blac Youngsta was dissing Yo Gotti just a couple months ago because it's unsteady waters between them. Remember, Blac Youngsta's brother got hit up before Big Jook got hit up. And one thing that Blac Youngsta made sure to want to do is to send a message to the people he's not cool with anymore, to let them know that they're not going to snitch on him for the Young Dolph involvement, to get Yo Gotti freedom and to not have him get in trouble for none of this stuff. Because first of all, Blac Youngsta signed with Yo Gotti just to beef. Like, he literally came in and inherited the beef. They just needed somebody to give like 100K to, 50K to, and tell him, go get Dolph, go get this person. If anybody speaks or disses CMG, go get them. This is what Blac Youngsta was doing for many, many years, 2017, 2018, so on and so forth, right? When he first came on and everything, because they knew moneybaggyo wasn't going to be able to do that. And Yo Gotti, he needed somebody that was going to be able to issue out all of the stuff, the hits that they have, whatever that they got to take care of in the street. He needed somebody to do that with Big Jook. And now remember that Blac Youngsta wasn't cool with CMG towards the end of it. Right before his brother got hit up, it was all this stuff, like the whole city was talking about how Blac Youngsta left CMG, how Yo Gotti kicked him out of CMG because Jay-Z told him that Blac Youngsta doesn't make CMG look good. When the feds and the prosecutors start investigating the RICO and they see that Blac Youngsta was the guy that turned himself in, when they try to hit up Young Dolph with the 100 shots, they're going to immediately call it a connection and put Yo Gotti's head on the chopping blocks. And so the one thing that Govan and Big Jook was doing was that they were about to pin the whole entire Young Dolph case, the hit and everything. They were going to pin it on Blac Youngsta, saying that Blac Youngsta was the one who upped the money to put on Dolph's head, and that he's the one that drove the Bentley truck and he hired straight drop and so on and so forth. And he's the person that ran out the back of the cookie shop and everything. They were about to actually throw Blac Youngsta under the bus. This is why, right when that happened and Blac Youngsta's brother got hit up, it was something going on between Yo Gotti and his own camp that actually led to the situation that unfolded. And so now Blac Youngsta's sitting there like he just lost his 2-3 brothers, and he's beefing with the same dudes that he actually signed up to do all of this crazy stuff with. And so first thing is that he should have never signed with Yo Gotti just to inherit the beef. Back then, Blac Youngsta, he was way more tied and involved in the streets. So he thought he wasn't going to make it out any other way. If that he just took this path with Yo Gotti, he might get put on in some shape or fashion. But he knew what the pros and cons of the situation was, and now he's left trying to they're trying to pin the whole entire Young Dolph hit on him, and he wasn't going for that. This is why they took his brother out. This is why they took out Blac Youngsta's brother, and Blac Youngsta said himself, he sent the threat. He said he will get revenge on anybody. He said everybody in Memphis he's gonna come back and crash out on. He don't care if you were cool with him, if you did this for him, that for him. He said if he sees anybody he got a problem with, anybody that ever looked at him wrong, talked down on him, he was gonna come back and actually slide and spin the block on everyone he had a problem with. As soon as that happens, the feds put him on the radar. He gets captured, boom. Then months down the line, they release Govan on the $90,000 bond. because Govan already gave up information to incriminate Blac Youngsta. All of these dudes, these street guys that were with Yo Gotti and they were doing all this work with him when the money was good, yeah, but now when the feds are hot on the case and the RICO is activated, they all of a sudden turned into basically snitches. They told on each other, they told on themselves. They kept pushing the envelope. They tried to claim that they're responsible for Young Dolph, and that ended up backfiring on them. Everybody that was supposed to protect Yo Gotti ended up telling on Yo Gotti's brother. And so that's why when you fast forward and you see that Blac Youngsta's brother got hit up, he gets kicked out of CMG. They try to Govan and Big Jook try to pin the whole hit on him, taking orders from Yo Gotti saying this was the message from the higher ups. They said to tell on Blac Youngsta, so they went ahead and started doing that in the Shelby County precinct. The next thing you know, wow, Big Jook gets hit up. Big Jook gets hit up. Yo Gotti's right-hand man, his brother. This is the person that Yo Gotti would go to when he needs something done. And Blac Youngsta was keeping tabs on all of them the whole time. He actually kept his word. He said he was going to spin the block and get revenge on the people he just became ops with in Memphis. And now Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti are beefing because they were trying to pin it on Blac Youngsta, the crash test dummy. But once he found out, this is why Jay-Z was trying to sell CMG. This is why they trying to kick me out of CMG. That's what he was thinking. Then he found out through the grapevine that Big Jook and Govan were actually telling on him the whole entire time, and that they were trying to get him the 200 years for being the main suspect in the Young Dolph case. And the trial is coming up right around the corner. So before they could get Govan and Big Jook to go on the testimony stand and point the finger at Blac Youngsta, because Blac Youngsta, he has a subpoena. He's supposed to be at the trial hearing. And so is Yo Gotti, so is Angela Simmons, a lot of people, because they're going to cross-examine everybody. And the district attorney wants to make sure he can get all the details from everybody that's around them, that's been hanging out with CMG, that's been around Yo Gotti, all of their girlfriends, all of their bosses, and the people who write their checks. They want to cross-examine everybody, just like how they did with the dude who was the label owner from the YSL trial. And so now, when you sit back and look at everything, it makes sense why Blac Youngsta, he might have actually gotten Big Jook taken out before he could go to the trial and tell on him. This is why we haven't seen Blac Youngsta and Yo Gotti in the same room. Like, they no longer cool with each other. They have to go and finish their contracts of how many songs and everything that Blac Youngsta was already scheduled to perform. But Yo Gotti doesn't come to any of those shows. Remember, Yo Gotti is wearing a vest now at anywhere that he arrives at, anywhere he's showing his face at, he has the vest on, because he's watching out for Blac Youngsta, and he's watching out for the dudes that that Blac Youngsta might have allegedly had hit up Big Jook. Now, Yo Gotti got a lot more to worry about, because there's people from his own team that the loyalty, when the money was coming in, when everybody was laughing and they were eating at Privé and they had the $200 steaks from Moneybaggyo restaurant, when that was going on, it wasn't no problems or nothing like that. But once the feds get put onto the fact that Young Dolph got set up, and it wasn't just no random incident that happened in front of the cookie shop. And once they seen that Bentley truck driving by, and they ran the fingerprints, and they brought the connection about how Blac Youngsta was in there, Big Jook was in there. But once Govan came in, and he was ready to, Govan, remember, he already got his daughter hit up because of the retaliation. On top of that, he already a suspect in the other Young Dolph like cases in the times from LA where they try to hit him up in the arm. Govan got caught up at that. So now, being a second time offender, they went to Govan and said, look, if you don't tell us the truth about exactly what happened, you're going to be facing 150 years to life. And so they told him that basically it's over with for him. He's never going to be able to come out and see another day of light. And so what he did at that moment was he gave him the info. He dropped the incriminating info on Blac Youngsta and Big Jook. This is why when they released Govan on a $90,000 bond, But a week before that, he was known as the mastermind. This was coming from them. This is what the whole prosecutor and the defense team was actually saying, that he was the mastermind of this whole thing. So how could they bring the mastermind in? They have him tell him some more info and say, did this guy do it, Blac Youngsta? Was it this guy, Big Jook, Yo Gotti? Was it these guys? Did they give you the money? Once they asked him those questions and he gave them the responses and the answers, they let him go on a bond, $90,000. So all he had to pay was $9K. He already had that from the money that they got from doing the whole thing. So once Govan got out, literally a week later, Big Jook goes in because he told on Big Jook and said, you have to ask Big Jook where the money came from because he knows. And then once they talked to Big Jook and Govan both told the feds that it was Blac Youngsta who carried out the whole play and wrote and literally called everybody to go to the locations and follow Young Dolph. So they try to throw it on and pin it on Blac Youngsta. Then as soon as Big Jook gets out, then Blac Youngsta's brother gets hit up because they already knew that from the last conversation that Blac Youngsta had with them. Once he heard from the inmates and he called and they said, yeah, they thinking about throwing you under the bus and telling on you, Blac Youngsta. So he got in an argument with Yo Gotti. He said, nah, man, we're not going to do none of this stuff. You going to keep your word. And basically, if they get caught, Govan and Big Jook, that's on them. Blac Youngsta, he felt like he already did his role with the getaway car, providing the white two-door for the dudes. And him riding in the Bentley truck with them and actually getting the picture of the whole, like confirming that it all happened. And so now, as soon as Blac Youngsta brother get hit up, he send the threat. He says, I know who did this. He said he knows who did. He just had an argument with Yo Gotti and Big Jook. He just got into it with Govan Hernandez. And so that's when he made the Instagram story. He says, I'm crashing out. Next time I'm in Memphis, I'm crashing out on everybody. I'm pulling up to everybody's block and everybody's hood. Nobody is going to get away with nothing about telling on him. And so that's when then people were sitting back like they were scared of Blac Youngsta was about to come and do something. It got real quiet. Moneybaggyo got real quiet. Yo Gotti, he had nothing more left to say. That's when Moneybaggyo moved to Cancun and Yo Gotti dipped to Bali. But as soon as Yo Gotti came back from Bali with Big Jook to go attend that event in that parking lot where they had the tuxedos on, Blac Youngsta caught wind of that and somebody dropped the location, basically the flyer saying where everything was going to be, what time it was going to end and everything. He already knew Big Jook drove the Tesla. So that's when Blac Youngsta got his hitters to hop in the Ford Explorer, the one that they was looking for. And then they did the whole drive-by. They pulled up, walked down Big Jook. This is the retaliation because they were about to tell on Blac Youngsta, and Blac Youngsta's not going down for what Yo Gotti planned. That was his, Yo Gotti, Young Dolph was Yo Gotti's main op and Big Jook's op. Blac Youngsta was just doing what they paid him to do. He was basically the crash dummy. And so now he came back and all the loyalties out the window and he got Yo Gotti's brother taken out right before the trial starts. So now they can't point the finger and tell the feds and the jury that it was Blac Youngsta's whole idea. And it's every man for themselves now in Memphis. We're about to see the whole thing go down. Let me know what y'all think is going to happen to Yo Gotti.